Okay, now we're going to tell you why everything you think you know about illegal gambling is wrong. I have Ismail Valley, the CEO of YieldSec, in the studio with me. How are you doing, Ismail?
I'm good, thank you, Kate. It's good to meet you.
Nice to see you, and it's day 3 of ICE. How are you faring?
I'm very tired. It's been a crazy few days, and this is year 4 for me of the build of the platform for YieldSec, finding the technology, and then launching it last August. We are massively grateful to the industry and the community at ICE. Everyone's welcomed us hugely. I had, at the G2E show in Vegas in October, I had a couple of thousand people and a standing ovation for what we've done. ICE has been even better for us. We're on the cover of the magazine today, which I'm so excited about. So thank you to everybody, and thank you for talking to me today. It's very kind of you.
Oh, and your business, YieldSec, so it looks to provide a far more cohesive regulatory intelligence. And that's to look at the black market, of course. So tell us, without spilling the beans too much, where did the software come from? How does it work?
So look, the problem with the black market and talking about it, first of all, is that label. So black market. So why do we use that label? Criminals gave themselves that title because 200 years ago, it's like, let's call ourselves the black market because there's the village market and the high street market. We're not those. Let's call it the black market because that's cool color, isn't it? Let's do that. So before Black Lives Matter and stuff, it's like, let's call ourselves the black market. People always say, well, what is the black market? Don't tell anyone about it. Just hush on the down low. Don't tell anyone. So you'd always think there were bargains there. You think there were advantages there. But quite often the black market would be things like, when I was a kid, you'd go Petticoat Lane Market, just near here. So my dad had shops. We'd go and buy the stock there. You'd see people selling video cameras. They'd be like, it's only £200, but a video camera costs £2,000. When you bought it for £200, when you walked away with a box, everyone would disappear. When you open a box, it was just bricks in there. No video camera. So that's what the black market is. It's all scams and this kind of stuff and ripping customers off. So first problem, labeling. Second problem is there is one marketplace in every jurisdiction. So the United Kingdom has one marketplace. No one really used that label until we did. And I started saying, we've licensed our military system and we've rebuilt from that to go after, basically, the black market is a commercial insurgency. So the system we were on was military, and that was a counter-insurgency platform for hearts and minds and ideology. I'm looking for dollars and cents and customers. So it's kind of the same thing. So I chased a company that had that platform. It took me about a year because I come from gambling, they're from military, and they almost took out a restraining order against me because they were like, you're nuts. You keep sending us these emails about the black market. You're insane. Finally got hold of the software architect by booking myself on the same flight as him and sat next to him. And then within 15 minutes, I've been obsessed with this. Within 15 minutes, he was like, yeah, I see what you mean. It is like a commercial incentive. No one's ever thought that before. I was like, look, I'm smart. I'm not genius or anything. Nothing I'm doing is, I'm not special. Sometimes the work I do is special, that's all. So with this one, I had a real bee in my bonnet about you have to have a single source of truth. We have to get close to what the number is. Because right now we've got one marketplace, a legal industry that's licensed, and everybody talks about it like that's it. That's all that there is. But there isn't. We produce these marketplace maps. We're like, we can literally show you like a cell in a body that it's being invaded by all these different people. We go through 4 layers and we show people, look, that's how it is when it's just legal. And that's just data. Here's how it is when I add in legacy black market sites. They've been there years. Here's how it looks when I add in the advertising, and here's how it looks when I show you the full thing. And everything is like a cancer cell that's being destroyed. They're destroying the body. So most marketplaces where they were saying it's 10% black market, 1% black market, you're wrong by a long way. It's 50, 60%. And where the black market are making money, that's what we uncovered in the UK in over November and December, there'd been an assumption that there is no black market because the UK's had a legal marketplace for so long, and it never had, like America had, like Netherlands had, like Germany had. They had periods where there was nothing. There was scorched earth, and the government said, we don't want gambling. We prohibit it. That doesn't mean it's not there. It's still there. Go through Google. It's like the fact that Google and Facebook were able to just keep monetizing this illegal traffic was like, this is insane. How is this legal? Why can you advertise, like for young girls and women, you've got bulimia sites and anorexia sites. If they look up those terms, it will direct them to get help. For gamblers who self-excluded, they look up, how do I get around my self-exclusion? Well, here are casinos for you. And those guys may commit suicide. Those guys may have family problems. They have money problems then. But we've got that openly, that sewer is open in the middle of our communities. So I said, this is not normal to be happening like this. So what the government's done, and I took 2 law degrees from Oxford, I took that really seriously. That nobody in my family had gone to university, I really hold that as something that I'm proud of it, but also it was a real privilege to study there. So I went back to libraries at Oxford. I had a great relationship with my tutor, John Davies from Brasenose College, Oxford, who passed recently. And he helped me going, look, you're smart, Ismail, but you always struggled. You were never a lawyer. Focus on this thing because you're obsessed with it. So find the answers here. So what you need to get to is basically take that marketplace, take all of the data and content, everything from the keywords, the PPC buying, all of the marketing that leads a bunch of human beings into an audience that's being targeted, into an audience that's being interacted with, into an audience that's now potentially monetizable. And then turn those guys into, okay, you bought a casino account, you bought a sports betting account, but which side of the fence did you buy it on? What we find is customers are regularly going, I'm just going to Google, I don't know what's legal and illegal, I couldn't care less. I'm just 5 minutes before the match, I want to get my soccer bet on. I feel like playing slots and my wife is out on a Friday night, it's post-pub time, I'm putting 30 quid in this. They don't care and they're looking for the best offers. And that's, again, black market appeals to that. We're showing you that we're convenient, but you're not. So they'll tie up your money just the same as anybody, and there's no oversight of the black market sites. So they're in the same place. And I'm going to stop saying black market now. One marketplace, these are illegal operators. So one jump I made was that we tend to use gaming law to define everything. Gaming law is right for licensed companies. That's what the regulator uses. When you're dealing with illegal entrants, gaming law doesn't apply because they didn't get a license, they don't listen to any of your regulation. So you need to go back to criminal law and go, you guys are just thieves then, aren't you? And no one likes being called that. And what we have in this industry is there was always organized crime. They love money laundering and all this kind of stuff because they make money from drugs and human trafficking stuff, and we're going to put that money somewhere, so put it into casinos, and nobody ever knows on the tax authority, well, did the person place 10 $10 bets or 10 $1,000 bets at the table? No one knows. So casinos, brick and mortar, were always great for that. Online's even better because it's high volume. That's organized crime's interest in casino industry. Now, we've got a bunch of people who were like me in 2005, 2006, and they basically just went, 2005 was when the UK passed its law, 2006 was when the United States banned online gaming, period, kind of thing. So what happened then is we had a bunch of executives in companies, many of which had shares and had made a lot of money on paper, who basically said, I don't think the Americans will come and get me. I'm going to carry on doing this shit to make a lot of money. But you're a crook then is what you've done to yourself. You've made a decision to be a criminal. And now, 25 years later, you're in a position where you are the problem for this industry, for the business, period.
Can I ask you, to what extent are illegal operators impersonating legal offerings by unlawfully using their branding? So you're saying it's almost like unrecognizable for the consumer. How are they doing that?
So look, they'll have the same, most of this is driven by referrals and search kind of thing. So you're looking for, and the other thing is Discord groups and Reddit groups of people saying, oh, there's great offers on there, this kind of stuff. And influencers on social media, Instagram. I'll get onto something called pig butchering in a minute, that's really interesting as well. So the thing that they do is, in 20 years ago, they did spoof a lot. So they try and look like Ladbrokes, they try and look like Caesars. Now they don't bother with that. And all those big brands have got good IP protection departments. Like if we see that logo being used, go after that site. And they'll issue cease and desist letters. But what happens in the black market is they'll just open another site. Average black market site, it's a business as usual approach to have 3,000 mirrors behind one website, one app. We don't do anything like that in the legal world. So when one thing's taken down, it's available again. It's just never ending clones of clones of clones. So you will never, as a government, go, wait, we've taken down that illegal website? No, he didn't. He didn't even skip a beat. So the customers are informed by text messages. The apps are updated on the phones without the customers even needing to know. And that's the problem with apps. Who's going to websites now? So you'll go to a search engine and you'll say, I'd like to play casino. I'd like the best offer on Man United. You'll get a bunch of legal and illegal. The point we get to is we sell our platform's data and advice to everybody, every legal stakeholder. I do not sell it to criminals. So if you are criminal in that marketplace, in my view of it, so I'm calling everybody criminal and everyone's going, can you not call it criminal? You are a crook, okay? It's theft defined. You dishonestly appropriated somebody else's property. Regulated sites and the government's tax as well.
And so tell us, what strategies or tactics could we use to reduce the speed of the black market spreading?
Use yield sec, because we find everything and we basically say to government and regulator, you guys get the win here. It's not my job to shut things down. I'm not the regulator. The regulator can now give it to the police because the police never knew where to begin here. So police and law enforcement are like, regulator finds a bunch of black market sites. When we go and check, they're not even there anymore. So you give us a bunch of screenshots on black and white print. We can't evidence gather from this. And how do we know those sites were targeting the UK or Germany? And that's a very important thing because DraftKings, for example, is available all over the world because they wanted to be that global brand. Does that mean they're in China? No, because 60% of Google is basically English language, all Google versions. So 60% of it means the relevance and authority has been picked up from US, effectively. So DraftKings, you can get it there, you can even open an account, but then it will tell you, sorry, you're in China, we're not in your country yet. We'll come back to you when we are. Wow. So that's availability. Targeting means I'm targeting you in a certain territory. I don't have a license for the UK, but I want to get you as a customer. So I'm spending money on PPC, spending money on keywords. I'm putting myself on affiliate sites. I'm buying online advertising and I'm paying influencers. Sometimes we see figures of 1 million per month for influencers. Wow. So these guys who are doing things on Twitch, especially if it's children, they're paying them even more. So that's the worrying thing.
It's
so we
scary.
see a lot, it's a hellscape is what we find. Twitter, after Musk bought it, turned into a nightmare. It's so many things because every time a tweet is sent, it will be retweeted thousands of times. So the content's there, we find everything. So the system had to be massively scalable. And that was our first few months, it was like, just the amount of data we need to store every day is billions of lines of code. So it got just dizzying, and then we took a view of let's launch in each marketplace holistically. Let's have a team of human beings who also check everything and verify it. So taking that signals intelligence, CIA, and military approach, we don't commit to numbers until we're absolutely sure. Even I don't see everything that's in there now because we have that compartmentalization approach. Not everyone needs to know everything.
Thank you, Ismail. Thank you for explaining that. I feel like we could talk about this for a really long time. Unfortunately, we've run out of time for now, but thank you for explaining your brilliant work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So a huge thanks to Ismail for joining us and talking us through one of the most pressing issues facing the online gambling industry today. There's plenty of evidence of regulators taking a much more stringent tone when it comes to offshore gambling, to the point that some major operators, such as Entain, have pulled out of every territory where they don't see a path to regulation. So this is set to be a major talking point for the sector in 2023. You can find out more on the issue in the latest issue of IGB, the official magazine of Ice London, which is available to pick up at multiple points across the show, including outside here, outside the studio, the Ice 365 Live studio. In that, there's more from Ismail, as well as contributors from leading lawyers, the European Casino Association and American Gaming Association on this topic also. And since this is such a hot button issue, tell us what you think. You can tweet us at Ice365Global or contact us on LinkedIn using the hashtag Ice365Live. A huge thanks to this morning's other guests, which included Pontus Lindvall of Betsson, one of the industry's most recognisable figures, as well as Robert Shavatal, who has built a small business into one of the biggest names in the sector. And it's been fascinating to revisit the subject of German regulation with Matthias, Dirk and Georg discussing the life under new federal regulator. We're taking a short break now before we hit the home stretch of Ice 365 Live 2023. We'll be back with Andy Ventris, the event director of Ice London, to discuss the show's future, as well as Per Yaldung of European Casino Association, before looking at some of this year's highlights. We'll see you later.